Welcome to Alaska EdVenture, hosted by Dr. Meinert, Superintendent of the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District. This award-winning podcast is your gateway to the heart of Alaska's educational landscape. In each episode, we'll explore the unique perspectives of guests who are shaping education in the last frontier. Join us on Alaska EdVenture as we share the insights and inspirations found in Alaska's K-12 classrooms.
Welcome back to the Alaska EdVenture Podcast. I'm Dr. Luke Meinert, Superintendent of the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District. And today I'm super excited to have a conversation with Lael Oldmixon about Alaska 529 and the Alaska Education Trust and a bunch of great things that they're doing for our students. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Absolutely. So we were chatting before the podcast got started, and a lot of times our guests are a little nervous. You know, they haven't been on a podcast or radio before, but Lael has some past experience in radio. And so I thought it'd be interesting to start out with that because you're an old pro here in the studio.
That's right. Yeah. When I was growing up, my mom worked in radio, and she would have my sister and I come into the studio and read the school lunch menus every single day, or once a week we would read the daily school lunch menus. So we became very familiar with what was available in the schools.
I love that. So supporting schools, even in your childhood, you had no idea what your future would bring, and you're still supporting schools today in your work, which is so great, and I can't wait to talk about it. And so what's your official position other than reading lunchroom menus?
So my current official position is the Executive Director of the Education Trust of Alaska and the UA Scholars Program.
Okay. And so what does all that entail? Maybe we start with the Education Trust of Alaska. What is that?
Sure. So the Education Trust of Alaska is the trust that oversees the 3 529 plans that are offered here in the state of Alaska through the University of Alaska. The University of Alaska is the trustee of the trust, and I work for the trustee. The 3 529 plans are different in how they're marketed and how they're designed. The first, with Alaska 529, were directly marketed to Alaskans. We built the portfolios to offer an investment lineup for families to save for education expenses in a way that will help them and provide diversity of investment options for them. We have a national plan also called the T. Rowe Price College Savings Plan, and it's actually the twin to Alaska 529. The only difference is that Alaska 529 has a portfolio called the University of Alaska Portfolio, which has the tuition value guarantee at the University of Alaska. And that is the one that when you check the box on the PFD, that money will default into the University of Alaska portfolio unless you pick another option before that happens. Then we have a third one, which is the John Hancock Freedom 529. And if you have a financial advisor, that might be one of the 529 options that they offer to you. So that is also marketed nationally through financial advisors.
Wow, that sounds like a big job. And so I've learned a lot throughout this process and just researching, getting prepped for the podcast, because when I think of you, I think of Alaska 529. Mm-hmm. But do you work with customers then outside of Alaska as well with the trust?
From time to time. So our primary job is to provide the governance and oversight over the trust, mm-hmm. and to make sure that anybody that invests with us can be assured that we are doing our due diligence and that we're being good fiduciaries and ensuring that the investments, the money that they put in has really strong potential to grow, and that we're monitoring anything that might impact that. On a daily basis, any Alaskan can come into my office or call me and ask me for help. And I love that part. And so we do some customer service in our office. All of the staff that work for me, which is 6 people, we're all trained on supporting and helping individuals who come in with various questions, which might be, what is a 529? Mm-hmm. Or might be, how do I take money out to pay for college? So it really depends on the whole spectrum, but we're there for it. And then the other big part of our job is outreach. And so for the last 13 years, I've been in the role of helping to ideate ways that we can get out into the community and build awareness about 529s, about Alaska 529, and also help families see the potential uses for the 529, which is exciting because it has gotten more and more flexible as the 529 industry has matured. So, for example, I just wrote a blog yesterday about this. Last year, the FAFSA had some updates, and one of the updates to the FAFSA was that families who save for a loved one, let's say it's grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, whoever, that money is no longer calculated into the FAFSA calculation. So a lot of families don't realize that. That was a major barrier for families for saving.
Yeah.
And so it's gotten more flexible in that way. This year, the Secure 2.0, which was really a retirement bill, passed and included 529s. The funds that may be left over in a 529 can now be rolled over into a Roth IRA. So again, getting more and more flexible. But so those are barriers that have kept people from saving because they didn't feel like it was going to benefit them in the long run to be saving. So for us, we try to focus on the starting the ball rolling, just getting started with saving, because every dollar that's saved is $2 that they won't have to pay back later in interest.
For sure.
And we try to focus on young kids under 5 typically, but really at any point before going into any training, we want individuals to think, okay, what can I save so that I could potentially not have to take out student loans or pay back debt later? So the outreach that we do has been heavily focused on sparking the curiosity about learning and sparking the vision of what one can be when they grow up. And we have, and also helping parents have those conversations with their kids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you've done a great job in that outreach and marketing and partnering with the school district, and that's exactly why you're here today. You're one of our wonderful partners, and it's great to showcase the work that our partners do with our school district. And so, thank you for all that you provide our students. One of my favorite events of the year just happened here recently. We had a big game, big volleyball game at the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and so a huge thanks to Alaska 529 and the University of Alaska Fairbanks for bringing up over 700 of our elementary students to pack the gym up at the Patty Center and watch a volleyball game and get kids on campus exposed to everything that's right in their backyard and get to have a really great time doing so. So thank you so much for providing that opportunity for our students.
We love that. We also have sponsored in the past the North Star to Nanooks visit on campus. And the whole point of doing those programs is to help the young people see themselves on campus or as a future college student, which is really great. One of the activities that we did at the volleyball game, which is one of my favorite activities, we actually have incorporated it into almost every outreach event that we do. So we ask the kids what they think they want to be when they grow up. And we do it by asking what Dash should be when he grows up. Cool. And there were so many different answers on this dry erase board, which we have in the room with us here. So, some folks said that they wanted to be biologists or maybe they wanted to be an astronaut or an aviation engineer, smoke jumper, basketball player, volleyball player. The best part is the creative spelling, obviously the phonetic spelling.
These are young elementary students, so yes.
But what's great is that they are thinking about the future and thinking about themselves as a future grown up or as somebody doing a career someday.
Yeah, no, I love that. And exposing students to campus and careers early on is such a pivotal thing for them. Oftentimes they have no idea what's available to them and what opportunities they can pursue. And so thanks for your work in that. And you did say that word career. So Alaska 529 can also be, your savings account can be used for trade programs and those types of things as well?
That's right. They can be used for so many things. So apprenticeships, trade school, 2-year degrees, 4-year degrees, PhDs, continuing education. There's some usage for K-12 expenses, and then also to pay back student loans. So it's gotten very broad and flexible in how they can be used. When you're in post-secondary ed, so what we might consider 2-year, 4-year trades or apprenticeships or traditional baccalaureate college, the expenses are really focused on the tools. Like if it's an apprenticeship, it's the tools that aren't covered by the apprenticeship program. If it's the 2-year, 4-year degree track, it's books, it's tuition, it's room and board, it's the fees that are required for attendance, a computer. There's so many ways that these accounts can be used to help pay for education.
That's great. Is there any yearly limits to contributing to your 529?
There's not a yearly limit. However, there are gifting rules that families might want to pay attention to. I think now the cap for not having to pay taxes on the gift is $18,000 per individual, and then that goes up if you're a married couple or if you make a lump sum gift over 5 years. But that's a conversation for your tax advisor.
Yeah, absolutely. And wow, what a gift that would be, right?
Yes, so, I will take it. The maximum.
Me too, and I'll work with a tax advisor on that. So
the maximum contribution that anybody can make into an account for the lifetime of the account is $550,000. Okay. And again, that's something I would love for somebody to contribute to my accounts.
Right, absolutely. I think we saw a doctor on there, so that should hopefully pay for most of the school and most of medical school, and those students would be in good hands then. And so that's great. Tons of flexibility around the 529 accounts. And what's, like, if somebody didn't know much about Alaska 529, what's the best way that they could go find out more and maybe sign up?
Yeah, they could go to Alaska529plan.com, and we have everything from signing up to understanding what the expenses can be used for, and also how people can help their family members save through gifting. So I would go to Alaska529plan.com. And then, of course, you can always call me at 907-474-5671.
Awesome. Yeah, Lael's a great resource, and she has a great team that works with her. One other thing, I saw a post the other day I think you had on LinkedIn, and this was something new for me. I think you said something along the lines that you were checking your app, and I didn't realize there was an app that could connect to the Alaska 529. And so could you talk a little bit about that?
That's right. That's new. We just rolled that out in July. It's called the Ready Save 529.
Good. Then I don't feel so bad that I hadn't been taking advantage of it before, because I'm like, man, I had no idea this was out there.
It is so cool. It is so cool. It has all of the information about your accounts. It allows you to connect to your gifting app so you can share your codes with your friends and family. It's a really great way to manage your full account right from your phone.
Love that. Yeah. Had to plug that and make sure other people understood that was out there and available, because that was something new for me. And it is a great app. Sometimes you download apps and they're clunky and you're like, I'll never open this again. But this one's going on my front home screen, and it's something that I think I'll open a lot in the future.
One thing I should probably mention is that just the other day, I set up recurring contributions right from my phone. So I went in and I said, okay, I want to make a contribution. Okay, yes, I want to make it every month. And for families that do that, for individuals or account holders that do that, we add $100 to each account once a year if you've set up recurring for each of your beneficiaries. So that's just something to think about. That's a little incentive to set up your recurring. As low as $25 a month can really go a long way and really build. The other thing is, if folks haven't opened an account, For every new unique account holder beneficiary relationship that is opened in this calendar year, we'll add $250 to the account for it. It will happen in February.
Okay.
So we've done that every year for the last couple of years. We really would like to help families get a jump start on their savings, and that $250 and then that additional $100 is a really nice way to help build it. And if they save with their PFD, it can really compound over time.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, some free money there that you don't want to leave on the table. And
That's
so
right. We're really serious about helping families save.
No, absolutely. I don't know that I've ever seen, I don't even know what you would call it, but like a financial institution provide additional money that you don't have to put in yourself. So that's really cool that you're doing that for our Alaskan families. The other part of your job, I want to talk about the UA Scholars Program. And for those that don't know about it, could you just kind of give a general overview of what that is and your work with the UA Scholars Program?
Sure. This is a program that really impacts the tail end of education. So for folks all over Alaska, in every single district, so 250 plus schools, can nominate the top 10% of their graduating class, which actually happens at the end of the junior year. Mm-hmm. So we get the end of the year, junior year transcript, GPA, whether weighted or cumulative. And the school notes who's in the top 10%, lets us know, and then we award them a $15,000 scholarship to the University of Alaska, any location within the University of Alaska system. What's really great about that is the scholarship is divided among 8 semesters. It's $1,875 a semester. And when you add that with the APS, which has just recently increased because of HB 148, it can cover almost all of tuition for a semester. So if somebody is enrolled in 15 credits, that can go a long way to help them fund their education. It makes coming to school in Alaska very affordable. It's also a great recognition on its own because those students who are listed in the top 10% have worked their tails off and really have earned this recognition. The other kind of cool thing is that every single school in the district and every school in homeschool, alternative schools, every school has the opportunity to designate their scholars. So I was excited when I looked at the list for this year in the Fairbanks area to recognize so many students that I've seen throughout the years, because my son's not far behind.
Yeah.
It was delightful to really see who's rising to the top.
Yeah, absolutely. No, just an amazing program for our students across the state of Alaska. And I think it's so cool that it's per school. You really have a diverse student population then that can access these funds and should help with the diversity up on campus in terms of students coming from all over the state.
We definitely do, and we'll recognize the scholars this year on November 4th. The folks from Fairbanks will get recognized at the University of Alaska Fairbanks. UAF does such a wonderful job putting on this event for our students, and they'll get to have their first practice of walking across the stage, shaking the hand of the president, hearing from current students, and really feeling, I think, the honor of being a UA scholar.
Yeah, what a great honor. And hopefully more to come of walking across the stage for them many, many times, right? Not only in high school, but then hopefully up on one of our campuses here in Alaska.
That's right. I always say this is their practice run.
There we go. I like that.
So they don't have to worry about tripping or anything. When they get to the high school graduation, they can practice that
there
here.
We go. They've got that out of the way.
We get a lot of goofy kids that come through for sure. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're teenagers, so they've got a lot of personality, and just love that they have those opportunities. And you mentioned APS. For those out of state or those that don't know, that's the Alaska Performance Scholarship. So that's that other piece of kind of financial aid or financial services available for students based on their performance throughout high school, and goes a long way to providing additional scholarship funds for students. With that change in HB 148 in the Fairbanks area, that meant about half of our senior class last year was eligible for APS. So a significant change and a lot of money out there available for Alaskan students to attend Alaskan schools.
It actually is an amazing change, and that coupled, again, with some of the changes that we made with the UA Scholars Program, I think offers a lot of flexibility to students who maybe want to try something outside of Alaska and maybe want to come back to Alaska eventually. So we've actually, with the Scholars Program, expanded our leave of absence policy. So if somebody, as long as they apply to the University of Alaska before they graduate from high school, they secure their award. And with APS, as long as they've completed the FAFSA, they secure that award, and then they can go explore something else, perhaps maybe go on an adventure, and the award money will still be there for when they come back.
That's amazing. I actually just ran into a barista the other day, and she had went out of state for her freshman year, had a great time, but realized how expensive it was and what kind of student loans she might be looking at for a 4-year education out of state. And so we got to talking, and she was part of the UA Scholars Program, had some APS money on the table. And so in conversations with her parents, it made a lot of sense to come back. And I think that's great. Students growing up in any state, I think a lot of times they want to go explore. And then a lot of times it's great that they're coming back to their home state because they realize what great opportunities they have in their backyard.
Mm-hmm. So as we talk about the financial picture with the Scholars Program, with APS, with Alaska 529, I feel like I'm kind of standing in the middle, helping families navigate the ways that they can fill in those pies, how the financing pie, how are they going to do the whole thing, and helping them understand that it doesn't have to be all one thing or another. So the Scholars Program is something to strive for. APS is something to strive for. And then with their savings with Alaska 529, that is also something to strive for, to help understand how they can take out as little debt as possible with their student loans. And the reality is a lot of families are going to have to supplement their scholarships and their savings with some loans, but the less they have to take out, the better. And also, I just want to put a little plug in there for the FAFSA, because the FAFSA isn't just loans. It's also grants. It's also other aid. It opens so many doors.
Absolutely.
So I highly, highly encourage families to complete the FAFSA, even if you don't think that you will qualify for any aid. You cannot get the APS without the FAFSA.
Absolutely. So yeah, if you have a high school student graduating senior and they haven't done the FAFSA yet, make sure they get on that. We do have seminars at our schools, and our counselors are well trained in helping students fill out the FAFSA. And so happy to help those Fairbanks students that are enrolled in our schools with that.
And another plug with that, FAFSA stands for free application for federal student aid. So if you go to the website and they're charging you to fill out that application, you're at the wrong website.
Thank you, for saying that. And I think that's important because there has been a lot of changes in the last year, and people have been kind of thrown off with that. And so thanks for making that plug.
Yeah, I think it's studentaid.gov is the actual website that you want to go to.
Perfect. And maybe we can put that in the show notes for people so they've got that. So
yeah, that'd be great.
Man, this was such a great conversation. I think I even learned something new throughout it. So any closing thoughts that you might have that you might want to leave the viewership with?
Yeah, I just want to loop back to ways that Alaska 529 really tries to partner in our community and support young people in sparking that thing that's going to take them to whatever they want to be when they grow up. Some of the other programs that we've supported in the district have included the robotics competitions, academic decathlon, at the university, the Arctic Innovation Competition. I know a lot of teachers in the district go out of their way to participate in that, and we really appreciate it. We have, if you've got a kid that plays soccer or hockey or baseball, we've we've sponsored those things. The Imagination Library stopped by this morning. We've been a longtime partner with them to help promote literacy in and early readers before age 5. And so I think my hope is that folks will understand how important participating in those types of activities, reading with your child, engaging in Legos and robotics and sports, how important those things are in terms of their character development, but also their academic development, and how we're with you as parents and as families and as community members all the way.
Yeah. And
so my favorite tagline that we've ever used is "From diapers to diplomas, we're with you all the way."
There we go.
But we really are with families. Our tagline now is "One plan, many paths." We understand that there are many paths that families and kids are going to take as they head toward education or toward their careers, and we're here for it, and we're here with you.
I love that. Such a great partner, walking side by side with us. And so thank you for that. Thank you for bringing a great partner of the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District. And thank you for coming on the show and having a great conversation about the work you do and the ways that you support our community.
Yeah, I hope I get to come back someday.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's do it again. This was super fun. So in closing, this is the Alaska EdVenture Podcast. Dr. Luke Meinert, Superintendent of the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District. Thank you for joining us today, and look for us next time. Thank you.
Thank you for embarking on this Alaska EdVenture with us. Hit that subscribe button and we'll meet you on the next episode.